All right, everyone. So I've been playing the Black Ops 7 beta for a couple hours, and I'll tell you this, okay? I wanted to make sure that whatever thoughts on the game I did have, I wrote down and expressed before I kind of get into the reaction and what other people think. Because a lot of times, the way you view something is kind of muddied a little bit by other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, and what the narrative for it is online and all of that. So I want to give my thoughts before we get into the reaction on the game so far. This to me is a really, really, really good example of why I love Call of Duty and why over the past decade or so, people have said, Call of Duty, it's not what it once was. On one side of it, it is as addicting, at least to me, as ever. I'm having a great time playing it. I like all the new movement. I was a little bit concerned that this new movement would be, not something that I enjoyed. I actually do enjoy the new movement. I like the guns. I like the gunsmith. I like the perks. I like a lot of the stuff that we see. Um, I don't have too many complaints on that end. Even the maps, a lot of people think they stink, but I actually have enjoyed, and I think it's important to understand this is a beta, so you're only getting a short amount of the, a small amount of the maps. I think it's pretty good overall. Um, on the flip side, I still have this just, and I don't know if it's even the fault of the game, but the kill streaks, they just don't feel like they once did. And I haven't unlocked all of them, so I can't say for sure like every kill streak feels like this, but anybody who's played Call of Duty throughout their lives knows the feeling of calling in your Harrier in Modern Warfare 2, hoping you got to that chopper gunner, and then you going from the chopper gunner hoping that you would get the nuke, or Call of Duty 4 getting the helicopter, or, uh World at War getting the dogs, right? Like those kill streaks just hit so hard. And there was only 3 in those first 2 games. In Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, and World at War, you didn't get to pick from a bunch of them. You just had a few, right? You only had 3. That was it. You had your UAV type one, you had your airstrike one, and then you had the special one at the end. And yet they still packed more of a punch than these do. Like I just don't feel the same way about getting a kill streak that I did in those prior games. And I do think that's a big problem because at the end of the day, Call of Duty, one of the things that makes it what it is are those kill streaks, right? That was one of the big like I mean, this is why people talk about when, hey, there's no objective gameplay in Call of Duty. People are just going for kills. That's the reason why, because the obsession has always been the kill streaks. And I just don't think all of these hit the way those hit. And so that's where I'm kind of really divided on this game. Like I can't tell you, I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't having fun. I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't think it was a pretty good game. I do think it's a good game. And I know based off what I've read on social media and on other people's YouTube videos, that's a controversial statement because people are, they don't like this. They don't like this beta very much. They're not liking this game, but I would be lying if I said I didn't like it. I do understand the frustration from people when they look at this game and they go, what actually do we have here in terms of better than Call of Duty Black Ops 6? What is this major step forward? Why is it that this game doesn't feel the same way that a Call of Duty 4 or a World at War or a Modern Warfare 2 or a Modern Warfare 3 did? That's kind of the big deal. And I understand people's frustrations on that. And I want to be clear about another thing. I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but I'm saying it now. Is I played on the Xbox, right? That's what I'm playing this on because with the whole secure boot thing, I don't know. My computer is a pretty top of the line computer, and trying to turn the correct setting for secure boot on was just a nightmare. I just said I'm not going to deal with it. I tried it with Battlefield, it wasn't working properly, so I just am on the Xbox now. So I don't know. There, like I heard some people had some problems on PC with different things. That's not going to be covered in this. I don't know about that. So don't take this and say, "Oh, I'm going to buy it on the PC because I heard someone say it was good." I'm playing it on the Xbox, right? And so when I look at this game, it's just why isn't it like those? How is this like those other ones, right? And it just doesn't. And I understand people's frustration on that front because they want to go back to that Call of Duty. They want to have that same experience again. And simply put, you're just not getting it here, right? In terms of like having that impact, but it's still a ton of fun, and I still love everything about it. And if they could build off this, like, this beta to me is good enough for a good foundation for a game that could be a ton of fun. But I can't really make a counter argument to somebody that says, well, this is a lot like Battle or Black Ops 6. You know, I understand the movement's different, a lot of the maps are different. There are certainly things that are different, but you do get the sense of like I'm playing Black Ops 6. You know, like you do get that sense in terms of the menus, how they look, you know, all of that. It just it's not this like back in the day, you played Call of Duty 4 when World at War came out, it was a completely different game. And then when Modern Warfare 2 came out, it was a completely different game. This game doesn't have that feel. Granted, it's just the beta. And that's where I think the most frustrating part of this. Like if this was just a bad game, if this was a game that just wasn't fun, it was buggy, it was terrible, I would just say, look, Call of Duty's done. That's it. But that's not what this is. This is a game that has so much going for it. It is a lot of fun, and it makes me, you know, like right now as I'm making this video, I'm thinking, man, I can't wait till I can go play the game again. I do feel that, which is the whole point of these games. But the frustrating part is knowing that when this thing launches, it's just going to be battle passes. It's just going to be kind of the microtransactions and what skins can you do and a focus on a Warzone over the actual online game. Like to me, this beta kind of debunks the idea that these type of shooters are done. You know, you hear that talked about a lot. Well, now, you know, battle royales are the thing, right? That's what you hear often. This game, playing it proves just like the Battlefield beta, I said it during that time too. The Battlefield beta proved this beta proved that there is still so many people that want a style of game like this. This isn't something that people are done with. People like this. People want to play this. And I would just tell you if you're someone who's considering buying the game or you're getting it through Game Pass or however you're buying it, play the game on your own without listening. Like I understand you're listening to my video now, but do it without listening to anybody else. Just kind of make your own opinion on the game because I think a lot of people, you know, they they kind of buy into like, oh, I'm not going to buy it because this person told me to buy it or didn't or not to buy it, right? They allow other people's views on it to shape theirs, and I think that's the wrong way to look at a game like this. If you have fun playing it, go ahead and play it, right? Play it all you want. I'm going to be playing this beta. I'll tell you this, okay? I'm going to be playing it a ton from now until Sunday. It's just going to happen. I'm having so much fun with it. I can't wait for this game to be released. It's just frustrating knowing that when this game is released, it's going to have that one thing that's pulling it back. Like there is a foundation here, I think, for a game that is super fun. I don't hate the movement. You know, go back, you could watch videos we've done in the past on Call of Duty. I was worried about this kind of movement stuff. And why was I worried about it? I was worried about it because it's just, I'm not really a fan of these kind of huge changes when they make them to the game that take it away from what it's always been, right? I'm not always a fan of that. I honestly think it was fine. The movement was fine. The movement isn't bad. The movement isn't like making it something that no, it's cool, right? You can feel it's very quick. I'm getting a lot of kills. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't think the worst of that is the case here, right? I actually think they nailed that aspect of it, but it's everything else that they're just not nailing. And what that's going to lead to is when, you know, people have their final opinions on this game, they're going to say, okay, sure, there's, you know, decent gunplay, there's fun here and there's fun there, but it's just not the Call of Duty that people are looking for. And I'm just nervous and scared that that's going to end up being the case. And I can't really make a counter argument to it because this doesn't feel like a Modern Warfare or a World at War. It doesn't have, like I said, it's weird because it is addicting. Don't get me wrong. I'm having a ton of fun playing. It just isn't the kind of fun that we would have back in the day. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.